Hello, Beard Wizard family. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Beard Wizard Man, also known as Trevor on social media. Links all of which you're going to find in that video description below, including ways to support this channel, like clicking that red subscribe button and joining the Beard Wizard family. Our goal this year is 5,000 by the end of the year, and I still feel like it's doable, but I'm going to need all the help I can get. Clicking that button, sharing it out there, and subscribing to the channel. I think we just crossed 4,111, so we are now needing 890 in the next just over 3 months. So if you have come here before and you haven't subscribed yet, or you're new here and you're considering would this be a fun place to subscribe to, it is, I promise. Please do consider it. I would really appreciate it. So anyway, it is the Warning Wednesday, and sorry for my lack of streams. Also, sorry for my wild beard. My normal barber has been on vacation, and I can't get into him for a little while. So things are crazy, but hopefully soon I'll have that fixed. Anyway, it has also been really busy at my normal day job the last few days and the last couple of weeks, actually, with new work that we pulled in. So earlier this week, I was wrecked trying to get everything together, and sorry I couldn't give you a stream for a couple of days, but we're back with the Warning Wednesday, and we are going back in the catalog again on the Warnings channel, and we're taking a look at they did a back-to-back of Our Mistakes and Wildfire at this Live at Dakota Bar segment that's on their channel. So we're going to take a look at those. Now, I was able to find a meaning about Our Mistakes. It is a song about an abusive relationship, or, in somebody trying to leave that and being unable to leave it. Wildfire, I could not find a meaning, at least from them, about what this song is about. So we'll take a look, listen, pause if necessary, talk about the music, etc., and so on. This is a live review show, as usual. It's fine if you call it a reaction, but I don't want anybody to think that I'm listening to this for the first time. I'm not. We're going to talk about it as we go through it. If you're in the live stream, welcome whoever just joined. Say hi. I love talking to you guys. If you're watching the recording, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. But this is Our Mistakes and Wildfire, live at Dakota Bar from The Warning. Salute.
In the streets where you're feeling nothing again. We're not the same anymore.
Welcome,
The
Kuro.
spark has gone away. I'm fooling myself with this thing I created in my head. I've always believed there was no they say love never dies.
That intro right there, I wish the sound, her voice is a little buried behind the instrument, but it's not anything to do with them at all. The sound editing and mixing in that section's a little, her voice needed to be brought up a little more in that. But that first part very succinctly describes somebody in this situation, an abusive relationship. They feel like it's their fault. They feel like it is not something they can, that they can change. And they also feel like they have nowhere else to go. A lot of people stay in these kinds of relationships because they think that's all that's out there for them. They feel like they're not good enough. They feel like they will never find somebody else. And so they feel like even though the abuse is there, that's the best they're going to get. There's a lot of reasons for that, and it's very sad. And for them to describe that, they must have really talked to a lot of people who experienced this, or read a lot about people who experienced this, to be able to write from that perspective. It's sad that they had to put themselves in that place, and that they did put themselves in that place, because that's not, as a writer who has to do that too, that's not always a good thing to put yourself through. It's a necessary thing, but it's definitely not a good thing to put yourself through that, to be able to empathize with somebody that does this in order to express how that feels, if that makes sense. And that's why their songwriting in this is so good and so sad, if that makes sense.
There is no room for me, that's why I want to leave. They say love never dies, but every time I try, you end up making me cry.
I think that just clicked too. The first time I listened to this, it didn't quite click, but that passage right there, and I want to make sure I get the lyrics right. They say love never dies, but every time I try, you end up making me cry. And I may be wrong here, but I don't think that last line, you end up making me cry, is coming from like being hurt by the person. They say love never dies, but every time I try to kill it, every time I try to leave, or every time I try to convince myself that this is a problem, you wind up making me cry, or you wind up making me feel bad. You wind up making me feel like I can't leave. You say the right things, you know, and that's an abusive partner is very manipulative in that way, where when you say you're going to leave, you say you're going to make a change, they suddenly turn around and make you feel guilty for that, and they say the right things to make you stay. I think that's what that passage is going for there, and I didn't catch that the very first time, but I think that's what they're going for there. And that, again, a very sad thing for these young women to have to put themselves in the shoes of to write this. It sucks.
Take the blame. Between my heart and my hand, you play your part, and it's always me who has to pay for all your mistakes. Different, but still I risk it all. And fear of loneliness is tearing down my walls. I'm trying to hide it, but I can't deny that this isn't love. The farther I cry, the faster we start to
I was trying to figure out musically what the guitar riffs were reminding me of, but it almost reminds me of a Weezer song or a song from that era. That's one of the reasons that these women are so interesting to me as a music lover from decades ago up till now. I have over my life been exposed to so many different types of music, and when I listen to new rock, a lot of times it's harder to hear the influences, if there are even influences of older rock. But with them, with The Warning, I definitely hear influences of 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s and 2000s rock, metal, in a combination thereof. And this song is very different from what a lot of their other stuff is. And it I think that's because it feels like some of the guitar riffs, some of the instrumentation anyway is pulled from that era of music when Weezer was big, when we were kind of in that in-between era of rock, which is interesting. I love that they will do that they will play around with those styles rather than try to stick to one boring style. It's very good that they do that.
You end up making me cry. For all your mistakes.
Welcome, Herbert Jones. Welcome.
Between my heart and my head. You play your part, and it's always me who has to pay for all your mistakes.
So before they jump into Wildfire, it really is the last couple of songs that we've done, especially, really displays their ability to empathize, to put themselves in the shoes of another person who experienced something so awful or so traumatic, and to write from that experience and in a very mature way that other people can relate to. You know, I hazard to believe that any of them have actually been through a relationship like that at this stage. Hopefully not, but I don't think so. So to be able to put themselves in the shoes of another person and to feel the feelings that that person does, and to then be able to express them like this is a testament to their ability to write. And then to express those emotions again through music as well, because it's not just writing. It's one thing to write a story, but also to put that story to music and put the emotion and the power that they have into it. It is pretty impressive, even this far back. This is a very raw version of The Warning, because this is before they blew up with the Queen of the Murder Scene album. This is before, I think this is even before most of them went to music school. You know, the talent is very obviously there. The writing, the musicianship, the composition, all there, but not yet refined, not yet sort of at the level we see them at now, with the added maturity and training and experience on the road, especially, but still so talented and so good. But I love this too, because we're seeing the very rough edges and raw parts of this band. That's I'm glad that we went back this far to look at these things, because it's really cool. And then to listen to stuff that they're putting out today and have put out recently, it's the same band, but it's so the evolution has been so amazing, honestly. Now we get to Wildfire. Oh, I didn't mean to hit back again, but interesting guitar riff. It's an interesting intro to the song, the guitar riff. I like that. But I wondered at first when I listened to this, why these two songs? A lot of times bands will release videos where they pair two songs because they either work together, they work back to back. It's a continuation, one song into another. Um, but in this case, I feel like these songs are about two different types of people. Um, the first type of person stuck in this relationship, unable to get out of it, very passive, very allowing the world or somebody else to control them. And in Wildfire, it's very much about a person who will not be stopped, who will not be controlled, who's going to fight. So it just just in this few moments kind of clicked with me why these two songs are paired in this same video. It makes total sense now. Totally different feel, obviously, and I love the guitar riff in this one, and the bass work underneath of it, very subtle but still very, very clear foundation to the song.
I say it's time for a change. Say it's time we fight.
That's a catchy riff. I say it's time for a change. Say it's time we fight. The face there.
It is in our grasp. It is so close, but at the same time far. We won't lie free. There'll be no peace until things are set right. More wildfires until you stand down. The high flyers will not be pulled back on the ground. Until things are set right. We say it's time for a change, and we won't win this fight.
Very nice. Very nice. Again, I love going back to look at these and to kind of see the difference between the warning then and the warning now, as far as, again, the talent is there. The musicianship, all of it is there, but it's so raw, and it's so interesting to see that, and to see their evolution almost in reverse in a way. Great pair of songs together. Not my favorites from the warning. Part of it could be just the production of the videos. Maybe curious to see how those songs sound now versus how they sound in that video in this particular live recording. But still, I like the messages. I love the sound of it. I love the way they play around with different styles throughout from one song to the next, which is really cool. Thank you, Kuro Kishi, and everybody else who was here. I really appreciate you guys. I will see you all again soon. You have a great one. Much love. Bye.